So let's understand how to install RASA on Mac M1. First, let's create Conda environment. Once the Conda environment is created, let's activate it. Let it complete first. So in the right side, you can see some of the commands. It's for mini-force3. It's for installing brew. So these I have already installed. So you have to install mini-force3 and brew before you move ahead with that. So let's see the env.yml file now, because this is important for us to understand. It contains all the packages, dependencies for. So when you see here, so channels we are using is Apple and conda-forge. In dependencies we are using Python 3.8.12. In tensorflow-deps we are using 2.6.0 is a version, and we are using numpy, we are using scipy and pip. Also you can see the tensorflow below. Let me scroll. Okay, so TensorFlow Mac OS should be 2.6, TensorFlow Metal should be there. And if you want to install TensorFlow, or if you want to use TensorFlow in M1 machine, then these three packages you have to install for sure. So instead of explicitly installed, I have used this YML file to install everything for you, so that RASA can also use this one. Now we have to run this command, but before that let's install some of the dependencies. Brew is already installed in my system, but I'm just going to install the dependency packages with brew. So let it complete now. It will install everything that is required before we move ahead with the actual YAML installation in our system. So when you cannot install requirement.txt, so you have to use YAML file if you are using Conda. So I'm sorry for that, but this is how it works. Now let's execute this command. You can see I'm using conda to install YML file. Okay, so this will take some time, so I have skipped uh, that duration, but this shows that this is cleanly installed. After installing this one, you have to now go to these pip install commands, and then basically what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to install the RASA from GitHub. And why no deps? Because I have already used all my dependencies. I have already listed all my dependencies in the YML file. So this is how it works. I do not want any compatibility issue. Here you can see TensorFlow PX 2.60 installed. No need to worry about that error. So please ignore that one. Let it complete. Okay, so RASA SDK is installed 3.0.2. Now let's install this one. Now you can see RASA 3.0.4 is installed. After this, let's try to see the RASA version, just to be sure that it's installed correctly or not. Just wait for a minute. Okay, so everything is installed correctly. RASA version is 3.0.4, SDK is 3.0.2, and Python version is 3.8.12. Just to keep in mind that now we have to use RASA init. We are going to initialize it, and then we are going to set the project path. I'm just creating a project path here with a folder name RASA chat. Just a minute. And just to also let you know, RASA only accepts 3.8 version if we are going to use on Mac machine for now. So do not install 3.9 or 3.10, it will not work. 3.9 I think also works, but I need to check. 3.8 definitely works. Okay, now let's set the path where we want our all the project related data to be available there. Okay, now let's train the model, initial model. If you just click yes, yeah, it will start training the model, and once it start training the model, it will create some of the files in that particular folder. Also, you can see that metal device set to APSl-py. It means we are also using TensorFlow GPU um, on APSl-py machine now. So it is going good. So I know that many people are getting struggling with installing or using TensorFlow GPU on Mac M1 machine. This will also help them. Okay, now let's speak to the trained assistant. Our model is trained, so let's type something here just to check how this is going on. Do not focus on the model accuracy because this is very minimal. You can train your model editing the config file, editing domain YML file and others. So don't worry about it. And you can create your own intents and everything. This is just a dummy file, I would say, or maybe the minimal file provided through RASA by default. Stop. Yeah, I have to slash stop. Now when you see this folder, you can see config.yml and there are a lot of configurations. So you can basically uncomment to use or customize some of the policies or anything else here. So this is very clear. Just read it and try to modify as per your wish. Now same goes for pipelines. Read about it. This is very straightforward. Based upon your requirement, you can modify it. Okay, now let's see the domain YML file. When you see domain YML file, you have the intent, you have the responses and utterances, so you can update it as well based upon your requirement. You can add it and then can explore this folder, project folder, to understand more about it. So I'm not getting into much detail, but this is what you can see here. Thank you.